Beats, Brews, and Points of View is a product of Dream Over Reality Media and sponsored by Arctic Circle Brewing Company.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Beats, Brews, and Points of View podcast. I'm your host, Neil Richter, sitting with my partner in podcasting to my far right down there, E-Man Bates.
The far right, the PIP, that is me, and we are in Plymouth City for episode 129. I hope it's 129.
I'm glad
right?
you remembered that because I was like, I don't remember the name
That's
of the
all right,
episode.
129? Yeah, I think that's it. All right.
Well, before we introduce the guests that we have in the studio, I just wanted to quickly state that the reason I started the track off today with Royce the 5'9" featuring Black Milk and Elzai, Real Hip Hop, is because we are celebrating hip hop around the globe right now, as yesterday was the actual birthday of hip hop music.
49 years?
49 years, man. Next year's the big 50. So, August 11th, 1973, DJ Kool Herc had a party in the Bronx, and you've heard me tell it briefly on the show before, but, he kind of started hip hop by spinning the break beats in different songs, and they would isolate the drum patterns and just kind of bounce back and forth on the ones and twos, and that's kind of how hip-hop was created. It was more of a party and a vibe before it came to the lyricism and MCs that you know today. But anyways, we want to say happy birthday to hip-hop, and E-Man, I'll let you introduce who was sitting next to you today.
All right, man. So, you guys may have seen him on a little show called Rhythm and Flow that was on Netflix, right? I believe so. Yeah, man.
Yes,
you might know him from around the city. A lot of different features popping around a lot these days. We have Sambeyourself on the show today.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks
Dude.
for having me.
Thanks for being here,
showing
man.
through,
Of course. This should be fun.
Yeah, it's awesome because, as I was just talking about the birthday of hip-hop, I listened to the Hot 97's morning show every day, and they were celebrating the regional stuff around their area. They're playing Rakim and Nas and KRS-One and shit. And I was like, you know what? Today's going to be a celebration of Detroit hip-hop. We got Sam in the house.
Okay.
I'm going to start it off with Royce. And we'll just go from there, and celebrate the shit that we love in Detroit here. So,
Fuck yeah, dude.
to give you guys a little context on how we got to know Sam here, well, I guess for me at least, E-Man and I were at the protests for George Floyd when that was happening during the pandemic, and we actually ran into Sam walking around down there with his lady, and kind of kicked it off then. And I know, E-Man, you had met him before, right? At a bar or something like that?
We met at
man.
Queens,
Yeah,
right?
Queens bar.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
remember. I was fucked up. But I remember meeting you, though, because I ran into you at the protest, and I was like, oh, I know this kid. Yeah, no, I do remember meeting you at Queens.
And congrats, by the way, because you recently got engaged, too. So,
Thank you.
Shit, congrats. I didn't even know that.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, before we get into the interview, because I have tons of questions, we like to sip on a beer here, but we do want to make a quick announcement as, life is all about evolution, and with this podcast, we were trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And, we've given you guys a lot of topical content and the birthdays and rest in peace segment. And we've kind of come to this cross path where we just don't want to do that shit anymore. We enjoy talking about like the music portions of these news stories, but we would like it to be more of like a learning based thing instead of just more of the gossipy stuff, because there's a million podcasts you can go listen to for that shit. So that's kind of going to be the new vision. But just to end it off, we did have a birthday for hip hop, and I'm going to end with one final RIP because one of the greatest legends of NBA basketball ever died last week, and that would be Bill Russell.
yeah, man.
So we want to shout to him. And E-Man, you were telling me something
Yeah,
cool
man.
about him.
So Bill Russell is the first NBA player to have his jersey retired all across the league.
That's pretty dope.
That's hard. That's super hard.
I mean,
But
Nobody can have number 6 no more.
The man ran out of fingers for his championships. It's crazy.
crazy amount of rings. Yeah, but didn't they? I thought they said like if you're already wearing 6, you can keep it or something like that.
I think so. Yeah, if you already have it,
Do you have to change it at the end of the year though? Because isn't Braun wearing 6? Like, well, you can't tell.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
true.
Like, are you gonna tell?
Yeah.
You're gonna
Like,
tell
if it's-
who's gonna be the one to tell King James like, yo, son, take
Hey,
that,
LeBron,
take that
you
shit
know,
off,
You're
fam.
gonna have to switch that number, man.
Like, go back to 23, bro.
It's like, I'll make Space Jam 3 before that shit.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
sure. Well, E-Man, tell them what we got for beer from our good friends at Arctic Circle Brewing Company.
All right, man. So I made the trip over to Arctic Circle, kicked it with Devin for a little bit, and then he gave us this Deep Reverence New England IPA to try. It is a double dry hop New England with Huell Melon and Falconer Flight 7 hops. Wow. Coming in at 5.8% ABV and 60 IBUs. I'm expecting like some very citrusy flavors to it, a little on the hazy side. It's gonna be a good one.
Does it tell you where, like, what region those hops come from?
No.
Okay. No, that's not a big deal. I don't give a shit really, but
That's a good question.
it tastes great. But I was just wondering because I used to work for a brewer. I used to work for Atwater.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What'd you do for Atwater?
I was a bartender and a server.
Okay.
I was definitely not brewing, but so they opened similar to the studio we're in right now. They converted an old church into a brewery in Grosse Pointe. So I was part of like the opening team there. Worked there for a couple years and got super into the whole microbrewery and craft beer thing. So yeah, I was just kind of wondering
That's a good question.
where those hops come from. But no, it's not a big deal.
We'll get back to you on that though, because Devin is our partner, so we can go reach out to him and ask him.
Nice. And I love the name too, Deep Reverence. Shout out to Nipsey, and Big Sean.
Yep.
That's one thing I do love about just Arctic Circle. They have a lot of music, specifically hip hop inspired beers. Like we have a photo with like the Wu-Tang family photo that we're in with them.
Oh, hell
And they got the De La Soul picture that they have up in there, where it's like the three of the guys that
Okay, yeah.
Instead of them, it's like the guys that own their brewery and stuff. So it's pretty cool. But anyways, as we do on this podcast, while we're having a taste of this beer, I'm going to play you a little music. Tonight, I'm going to play you another Detroit guy that you heard on our fucking podcast first, Joe Budden in Breakfast Club. I see him bouncing around now, getting them interviews. I'm salty in case you haven't heard. But here's Courtney Bell with Commandment 4 off his very first project, The 10 Commandments.
Nice.
God, he's so fucking good.
That shit is hard.
So to answer your
dog.
question, I did a little research here. So Huell Melon is actually the daughter of Cascade hops. It looks like. So that's more of like the more piney type hop.
Yep.
And then Falconer Flight 7 is a cross between a bunch of different ones. It looks like it was a cross between Cascade, Citra, Cluster, Columbus, and Crystal.
Nice. So it's like a hybrid.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
So it's more like the citrusy, I guess, side of
Nice
things.
job getting to the bottom of that so quick. Look at you.
Yeah, so that Courtney Bell thing. So I've had conversations with him a few times on Instagram, and he's agreed to do the podcast twice. And then you go to be like, yo, can we do this date? And then it's just radio silence. And then I see he posts on, or Royce is bringing him up to the Breakfast Club and to Joe Budden's podcast yesterday. And I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, I saw that picture. I saw that picture of the three of them.
Hey, one day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the interview.
Yes, absolutely, man.
All
'Cause
right.
I got a million questions.
Man,
Fuck yeah.
we're obviously gonna start with Rhythm and Flow first before we go into
Sure.
the new project.
Sure.
Walk me through your day from start to getting to Reggie's Yacht Club in Chicago to seeing Chance, Royce, Lupe, and then actually getting there. Like what was your mind like? What did you do? How was it?
I guess start with, how did you get, like, what was the audition to first even get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Chance posted on his Instagram, me, T.I., and Cardi are doing this show. Send your music to this link. And I was like, whatever. I just kept scrolling. And then just got inundated with DMs, comments underneath it, like Sam. And I was like, all right, it's not going to hurt, right? So I went to the website and saw that Netflix was behind it. And then that even made me more curious because I was like, okay, this isn't going to be like MTV or Fox or some bullshit where you can actually, be your authentic self and turn up and just do what you want to do because it's Netflix. They don't give a shit. So then I submitted all the shit, went back and forth with producers for like months at a time. I probably submitted, I forget the exact month, but like I submitted it probably in like September or October. And then was just going back and forth, and they would ask me to send music, and then they'd send me a beat and tell me to do something with it, and I'd send it back, and then I'd send videos of myself, like real-world style audition tapes where it's like I'm standing in front of my phone, and I'm like, my name's Sam, this is where I'm from, this is how old I am, like, and kind of just went back and forth with producers for a long time, and then didn't hear back from them for like a long time. It's like Christmas, New Year's. And I'm like, fuck, man. I'm living in Chicago at the time, so I'm back home for like Christmas and New Year's, and I see like Twista likes like 3 or 4 of my photos and videos on my Instagram, and I'm like, that's strange out of nowhere. I was like, that's dope though. That's cool. That means he sees my shit. I don't know if he like followed me or anything, but he just like kind of went on a liking spree, and I was like, that's crazy. And then get back to Chicago after New Year's, and I get an email, and they were like, hey, it was like a Monday morning, and they were like, yeah, we need you to come audition in front of Chance like this Thursday. Let us know right now. And I was like, fuck yeah. And I get there, and I think that I'm initially auditioning for Chance and T.I. and Cardi, right? Because that's who's doing the show.
Yeah.
And they were trying to keep it on the down low, and made sure we didn't really know. They kind of wanted to throw a curveball at us. And then they had 2 waves of auditions. They had like 10 or 12 kids go early in the afternoon at like noon, and then they had like 10 or 12 kids go later at like 5 or 6. And I was part of that 5 or 6 because I was working at like a company downtown. So I was like, I got to make sure it's after work. Whatever. One of the kids that that auditioned in the earlier session came up and was grabbing his shit out of the room. And one of the producers was like, hey, you can't be up here. You can't be up here. And he was grabbing his shit and leaving. He was like, I'm just telling you guys right now, it's Twista, Royce, and Chance. And I was like, oh, shit. Ooh. And then it all clicked, and I was like, that's why Twista was liking my shit, because the producers probably sent him all the MCs that were auditioning.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's good. He likes some of my shit already. He's fucking with it. And then I had this bar that I had originally wrote for like mentioning Chance, T.I., and Cardi, and I had to switch the whole thing around in like 10 minutes before I went on, and switched it to Royce, Twista, and like I had to switch my whole bar around, but it ended up working out fine. And they like thought I was freestyling because I was like mentioning them and kind of going off kilter. But yeah, no, it was cool, man. Just went back and forth with them for a while, auditioned, and then got sent to Hollywood from Chance. He kind of gave me the green light.
That's crazy, man, and it's awesome to hear you say this stuff because like I was on it like right off the like as soon as I heard about the announcement, I'm like, I'm definitely watching this show because I'll tell you a little guilty pleasure about myself. E-Man already knows I'm a fucking obsessive fan of all the music shit. So like I'm watching American Idol. I don't give a fuck.
Oh hell yeah!
I know it's trash, but man, I just like watching people that are good at making music and shit like that. So when I was like, there's a hip hop one coming out, this is gonna be fucking awesome. I was so stoked on it.
What was the turnover time for the music video?
Fucking,
like, what was the turnaround?
Fucking 3 days or some
3
crazy
days?
shit. They flew me home to Detroit on like a Friday morning. We shot it Saturday, and then I think they had to turn around, edit it. We had to like present it to the judges on like Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. It was like 3 days, something like that. We shot it and edited it. So we kind of just didn't have a lot of time to like really do certain things and get certain looks that I wanted, and it was a terrible day in the D. It was super freezing and super gloomy and shit, but
shout out to Oh Miami, by the way.
Yeah. So definitely was able to lock a couple spots down where we wanted to shoot, which was nice. And obviously, you know, when you're not in control of the editing process, and you're kind of just like, fingers crossed, hope everything's okay. And it turned out all right, and it turned out good, and I made it to the next round. But yeah, it was definitely a tight squeeze.
Yeah, it definitely was. I was kind of so how long was like the whole process of the show?
Whole process was I was out in LA from it was like all so well, let me think here. So it was 2019, so it was like all of January pretty much. I auditioned probably on like January 4th or 5th. Flew out there like the next week, so it was pretty much like all of January, all of February, and then went home.
That's crazy. See, I'm always curious about like the inner workings of these shows because I know like so Danae, who is an awesome artist that you should check out. She has an incredible voice.
Nice.
She was on the show and she had auditioned for American Idol at one point, and you know it's funny because they make it seem on TV like these people are waiting in line and then they get in to see these guys and perform on it. But that's like the polar opposite. They got to audition for like all these show producers before they even get to like
I was
that
thinking
TV
about
performance.
That. Like when they had like, all the shots and you guys in the back room and stuff like that. Like this is not that many people in here. I'm like, how many people are actually like on the outside of it?
It was a good like 20 to 25 kids probably auditioned that day. You mean like the green room, like before? Yeah. And they kind of chopped and edited all that up. Like they made it seem like everybody was in there at one time and stuff. But yeah, they did a good job, I think. You know, I thought it was pretty well produced, the show overall. They cut a lot of shit out.
I believe.
But, I was gonna ask you about that next.
Yeah.
So how did it go from? So you said you thought it was Chance and Cardi and T.I., and then it ends up being Royce. Twista and Chance, when did they tell you that it was going to be like different judges in different cities? I know they did that in a few different cities, right? It was
they had like Snoop in LA.
Yeah. I don't think I'm not sure what the process was for those auditions. I just know that we all went into it thinking it was going to be the three main hosts of the show, and then we kind of got hit with a curveball. I'm not sure if they kind of let everybody else know who was auditioning in the other cities what the deal was or not. Because it was like a couple of different things. Like I know like Ray Khalil, she like auditioned like with just one other dude in front of Anderson .Paak. And then I know my boys Caleb and Troy, man, like they just like spit acapellas in a fucking barbershop for Killer Mike and T.I. Like it was like all over. And then some people like auditioned for like Quavo and shit. So it's like, yeah, it was all. I'm not really sure how the process went in the other cities, but
that Ray Khalil, she writes with Anderson right now, doesn't she?
I'm pretty sure she won a fucking Grammy, dude.
I thought I saw that. Yeah,
she won a Grammy.
She's like on his production team.
She won a Grammy, I think, for penning some stuff with him, and then I know D Smoke was nominated. So yeah, I think it was pretty cool.
How long were you guys actually at DJ Khaled's house? Because I was gonna ask about that.
Like
that
fucking
was very short.
Fucking 45 minutes maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. We just kind of kicked it for a minute and kind of like saw his crib a little bit, and he chopped it up with us and kind of just he was really cool with the main producer who was kind of like the head producer of the whole show, and Jesse Collins, shout out to him. He did like Super Bowl halftime with
nice.
The Weeknd. He did like, I'm pretty sure like the last Grammys. He's done like BET Awards, Academy Awards. He's a really, really, really sought after producer, especially in the TV space. They're really tight. Jesse's tight with fucking everybody and has every fucking phone number for any fucking person in the world. So I think he just hit him up on a whim and was just like, hey, can we come by and shoot for 1 second and kind of just get you doing your DJ Khaled thing? And yeah, what was cool about it was like there was no faking with him. It was like we walked into the crib and he was like, you gotta take your shoes off at the door. He's like, Assad's in the other room over there asleep right now. It's like, I ain't slept in days. I've been shooting videos. Like, there was no fake with him, so it was refreshing to see that's really who the fuck he is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Question. So I know like a lot of stuff with like reality TV is a little bit sensationalized sometimes. Before the battle rap, there was like a whole thing with like Big Mouth Bo and Aaron.
Yeah.
I noticed you had your headphones on, and I applaud you for that, by the way.
Oh, I was in battle mode, dog. People were trying to fucking talk to me and shit, like, and I'm sitting there listening to old G Unit tapes, like, fucking just ready.
I was about to ask,
dog.
what were you listening to?
I was meditating and shit. King Los was like making fun of me because I was like meditating shit. He was like, "Look at this fucking kid," and I was like, "All right, bro, like storm's coming, so you can crack jokes, but."
That's what I was just gonna ask you. Actually, that brings you to a good point. Like, out of all those guys, because you had like King Los doing the mentoring and then the judges, were there any of those guys like when cameras were off that were kind of like pretty dope as like hands-on guy trying to help you guys out, or were they kind of just like there during filming and then gone?
Yeah, that's kind of the reality of it. We weren't like kicking it with them too much. Obviously, we'd have a little bit of downtime if like we were like waiting for a camera angle to change or something like that. But it was usually tipped, dude. T.I. was. Every time he'd see me, he'd say, "What up, doe?" and shake my hand because he knows that, that's a Detroit thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so he would say, "What up, doe?" when he would see me like every day on set, and they're all just super fucking nice people.
Dude,
and,
if only Cardi could see you now in your Cardis. You know she wouldn't be what did she call you again?
Yeah, these aren't Cardis. I'm not there yet. But
they look like them though.
Yeah, right.
Me.
It's the thought. It's the thought that counts, right? No. But yeah, no, they're all like super chill, down to earth people, and you just kind of. It's like really weird, man. Like I used to fucking get ready for school in middle school in the morning, and I'd be listening to fucking Urban Legend by T.I. and then to just be standing like fucking shaking his hand.
I was gonna ask about that, man. It's gotta be like a surreal feeling. Even like before that with like Twista and Lupe and stuff like that.
Twista, man, that would make me the most nervous. I feel like he's like a
Royce,
really big, like he's really. Behind the scenes, I see a lot of interviews. He's paying attention to a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. He's in tune with what's going on always, man. He's a legend. Like I said, really didn't get to like chop it up with him much or anything like that. Just kind of did my performance, and he said you were dope. I fuck with it, and that was it, pretty much. But you just realize at the end of the day, like they're just human beings. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's what's kind of cool and humbling about it, and yeah, it was cool.
All right, so this is the last question I have about the show before we move on to the music that you're making now and where you're at currently.
Yeah.
And you can plead the fifth on this because I don't want to get you in trouble with anyone.
Let's go.
But I've got a question, and this is kind of how I felt towards the end. I kind of felt cheated as a fan of the show that D-Smoke was even there and or won the show. And this is why. Because he was already opening for Kendrick, and his brother is fucking Sir. Like, Sir is already a TDE member.
Yeah.
I'm like, it feels a little bit of a cheat.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, did either of you ever hear of D-Smoke before the show?
That's true. That's a fact.
So
you know?
it's not like he was out here fucking moving and shaking
That's
crazy.
true. That's
he
true.
was busting his ass as a fucking independent artist. The dude was teaching Spanish at Inglewood High.
Yeah.
He worked a regular fucking job, man. He was busting his ass just, to get by as an indie artist. He was getting his little spot shows and doing tours around like with people and stuff like that. But no, I don't. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and that was a topic that was brought to me a lot, where it kind of seemed, it was kind of a concern for a lot of the fans of the show. But like at the end of the day, that's the same question I ask everybody. Like, have you ever heard of that guy before the show?
That's a good point.
I never heard of him.
That's a good
And
one. Answer the question with a question.
I never like no one.
And I
ever,
mean
it's
no
not like-
disrespect about his skill set, because the man's made a lot of great
Oh my
music since
God.
that show. So
Guy's incredible.
He's
It's the
very
Grammy nod.
incredible.
Plays like fucking 10 instruments. Like
Does he really?
Yeah, dude.
I saw him do the piano.
Yeah, he plays a bunch of instruments, speaks fucking different languages and shit. Like he's just
wow.
a smart, humble dude. He was one of the dudes that really like I clicked with, because we were just like, there was some fucking like literal kids on that show. There was kids that were like,
I know Arian was like
18
or
years
something
old.
like that.
There were kids that are can't even go legally buy a fucking pack of smokes in some of these states. You know what I mean? So it's like, me and him kind of like clicked instantly. Like this one kid was like, I remember this one kid was like, yeah, man, I do this fucking music shit full time, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I work a fucking 9 to 5. I work for this music company. Shout out to Zounds.com. They're like an online version of Guitar Center, if you will. It's just an online music equipment store. And I was like, yeah, I do this in Chicago, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, why the fuck aren't you doing music full time? You'll never make it like doing music full time. And D-Smoke's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, motherfuckers got bills to pay, bro. Like,
yeah, for real.
No, shut up. Like, how you going to tell somebody? So he was always in my corner and always super nice. And we'd go
That's
kick
cool.
it, eat food, get a drink after, shooting and stuff like that. So, yeah,
I was gonna ask, is there anybody you still? I mean, obviously the D-Smoke now, and then I know
Yeah.
Caleb Kloss is on the new album.
Yeah.
Anybody else you still like kind of keep in touch with from the show?
Yeah, I still talk to Troy, and I still talk to Flawless.
Old man
Flawless
Saxon.
is talented,
Still
man.
talk to Saxon. Yeah, he did.
I love Saxon,
Oh,
bro.
Yeah,
He's
he
so
was
awesome.
everybody. He was pretty much the show favorite, man. It was really unfortunate that they kind of had him battle D-Smoke, because it was like, it would have been fun to see him in the music video space
Yeah.
with his creative juices and stuff. But yeah, Saxon did some shows on like the west side of the state in like Saginaw or Grand Rapids or something like that. We just couldn't link up, and it just didn't work out. But yeah, I still talk to him every once in a blue moon. Pretty much everybody, you know what I mean? There's only a few people that I don't really talk to, but I've done a song with like Jacob Campbell before. I still chat with him on social media every now and again. Yeah, there's a bunch of people that still kind of keep in contact for sure.
I know you got because you got off of the video. Is there anybody you would have collabed with from the R&B thing when they did the collab one? I think it was the next episode.
Yeah. I don't know how it would have gone or who it would have set up. So it seemed like it came down to the sample challenge. It came down to me and Caleb. So it seems like I would have been paired with Tory Lanez. That's kind of what if I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, that's who Caleb got paired with, and that's who I got eliminated against. So I feel like that's probably who I would have gotten paired with. But yeah, I would have been just fucking stoked to work with any of them, whether it was him or fucking, I forget who else was on there, fucking Janae and fucking Miguel. Yeah, it's just a win-win, to team up with a legend and make some music for sure.
That's what's up, man.
That's for sure. Yo, the track with Caleb on here, by the way, is one of the standouts for me. I love the way.
Totally.
You guys
Big
have
time.
a nice like contrast in your voices, so
Yeah.
it was like I liked that a lot. I was
Yeah.
like, I asked him, man, I'm like, who's Caleb? He was like, it's the dude from the show. I was like, oh shit, I forgot, because it'd been a minute. And I saw it when the show was new.
I've been sitting on that joint for a long time, and it was just like, that's kind of just like, dude, I'm sitting on so much fucking music, and that's why I'm putting this album out, and I'm just gonna start fucking open up the floodgates. Like, you literally just can't score if you don't shoot, and I'm sitting here since the pandemic hit, I've just been overthinking every step and every move, and I'm like, time to fucking just put it out there, dude.
I was gonna ask, man. Like, so I'm getting off of Rhythm and Flow.
Yeah, for sure.
What
Thank
got
God.
you?
Fuck that show. Y'all owe me money. No.
Like, so, because I know you play like several different instruments. Like, what
Yeah.
got you like in music in general?
So yeah, my parents always were very good ear for music, always playing music around the house. My mom would, jam out to fucking the Eagles and Michael McDonald and fucking Motown and Jackson 5 and shit like that. And then my dad was into more classic rock like Boston and Led Zeppelin and The Who, and showed me fucking Beastie Boys for the first time and shit like that. So I got bit by the hip hop bug through my older sister. She kind of put me on to a lot of shit, introduced me to like Ludacris and Eminem and Nelly and like the early 2000s and shit like that. So that's kind of where getting bit by the hip hop bug came into play. But just I grew up next to this kid who's a neighbor of mine. We were in the same grade, and he started taking guitar lessons. He still plays music today. I'm pretty sure he's in a band. I'm pretty sure he's touring around. I don't really know. It's been many years since I've talked to him, but he used to be my neighbor, and he started taking guitar lessons when we were like in 3rd grade. And I was like, Mom, I want to take guitar lessons. And he was smart enough to be like, dude, I'll just show you what my parents are paying for it. Like, your mom doesn't have to pay for it. I'll just teach you what I learned. So he starts teaching me simple like bar chords and different chords and shit to play on the guitar. And he starts getting really good at guitar, and I'm still kind of pretty intermediate. And his dad was a drummer in a band. So he was like, well, my dad can give me one of his old kits. I'll play guitar, you play drums, and we can start really jamming. So then I kind of figured out on the fly, like, oh shit, I got rhythm and I can fucking play drums. Like, I didn't really know until he got a set from his dad. And so that kind of sparked interest there. And I was like, okay, I can do the guitar and the drums thing. And then started playing violin in like 5th grade, did that in like 5th and 6th grade. So I can still pick that up and kind of fuck around on that. Piano just kind of came naturally. And that was just kind of just stumbling into things and trying shit out. The next thing I want to do is saxophone, man. I'm gonna learn how to play.
Fuck yes,
I'm
please do.
I'm gonna learn how to play sax.
I did alto for a few years.
Did you?
Like in middle school, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
E-man,
Yeah.
I'm glad you transitioned into asking him about the instruments and stuff, because I'm listening to your new album today. I listened to it twice today.
Nice.
And that was something that was going on in my head, because I follow you on Instagram, and I've seen you do the little videos where you're not even rapping, you're singing and playing guitar, and you
Yeah.
got the beat pad sometimes and everything. So I was curious while I'm listening, because I definitely heard some guitar fills that sounded like you. So I'm like, how much of this production on here is you?
Every single beat but one.
Every single beat but one?
Every single beat but one. Yep.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
That makes me happy to hear, because you have a
Shout out to Dizzle, Trap Goo. He produced one of the beats on there, and he used to go by. He raps by Dizzle B. He's a kid I went to high school with. He's super nice with beats. But keep going. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I was just gonna say it's awesome that you have this, because you have now a leg up on the competition, because you can make your own shit. You also can sing your own hooks, because you do it very well multiple times on this album. And then also, what is so important to me is, because you have that ear for production, the fucking drums on your album are so good, man. Like,
Good.
all the way through, they
Awesome.
sounded so good. And I got
Awesome.
brand new headphones, so they were cranking, and it
They're
Off
just-
the album,
those drums,
but-
those snares are cracking.
Oh man, it sounded
nice.
so good.
Off
Fuck
the album,
yes.
but a single, that masterpiece. Did you do that beat?
I did that beat.
Oh my God, the Purity Ring sample. Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't too hard, that one. It was a loop. I just did the drums and the bass, and it was just a quick little loop that I had found on the internet or whatever. But yeah, so that beat wasn't too crazy. Sometimes you could whip these things up in like fucking 10, 15 minutes, and sometimes you're sitting on it for 3 days, like just trying to figure out one snare. But that makes me super happy to do, because that's like the that's what has me in awe of Dilla, really. The way those snares and kicks just crack and pierce through everything. Yep. That's kind of what I aim for. So that makes me super fucking happy.
Yeah, dude. I by the way, the project is called Sunshine Diaries. Do you have a release date for it?
Yeah, September 2nd.
September
is
2nd?
when we're gonna put it out. So yeah, it's kind of like trying to represent those dog days of summer and Labor Day. September 2nd is Labor Day weekend, and it's really like that last weekend where people go ham, and it's the last weekend before kids go back to school. And it's almost like, in Michigan, in the Midwest, and in the East Coast and stuff like that, it's kind of known as like that last real weekend of summer.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I like how you
Sure
open
is.
the album too. You only have 12 days of summer. Like,
That intro is
I
great.
hope you did something great with it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. 12 weeks of summer, so I hope you used it wisely. But that's kind of like where I wanted to go, and that's kind of why I want to drop it on that unofficial last weekend of the summer.
I
So-
do love Isaac's verse on that, by the way. Shout out to Isaac Cass.
Isaac is
dude.
crazy on that
BBPOB alumni.
You went crazy on
Like,
that
holy
shit.
shit.
I know. I know. I didn't want to be that guy. I literally almost cut a new verse. I literally almost cut fucking Isaac.
Isaac went off, dog.
I had to just recut it to the same verse to match his energy, but I literally almost that line where he says, "I make them ball their sheet of paper up and throw that shit out." I literally almost did that with my verse.
I was like, damn it.
I literally almost scrapped the whole thing.
You had a great double entendre on this album too, though. I forget what track it was on, but you said something about Mayweather and Mayweather.
Yeah.
That fucking line. I wrote that down on my phone. I was like, that shit is sweet. I like that one a lot.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's a great line.
Thanks.
I don't know how much of this you want to reveal. Are you keeping some of this a secret as far as like who's on here and stuff?
Yeah. So definitely, obviously, the two that we talked about. But yeah, I definitely got some surprises on there that I'm kind of gonna instead of like just doing that lazy ass like a couple days before the album, like post a pic of the track list. I kind of have a cool wave, so I think there's like 6 or 7 features. So that week leading up to the week leading up to the album, I'm kind of gonna drop a video about every feature.
Hell yeah!
And like how my relationship ties into that person and
that's awesome.
Stuff like that. So yeah, we can hush on the features.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say, there's definitely ones I want to talk to you about, but we'll talk off podcast about them and how they came about and shit.
For sure.
I actually went and checked out. I didn't even notice these until today. That the Primo beats, the blender.
Oh yeah.
I just
did 2
noticed
joints.
the 2 real one the other day.
Yeah, I did 2 joints for him on there, and he's been super fucking busy. He's getting placements for all these fucking popular rappers and shit, and he's really built his brand up, and he's really doing really well. So me and him have been meaning to link back up. I know he's about to start working out of a studio called Get Fresh Studios. That's on Jefferson Chalmers area, and that's like right by my crib. I live around the corner from there, so hopefully me and Primo cut some more soon.
I was making fun of it a little bit to E-Man. I was like, yo, he might want to consider changing that name
I met
up,
that
bro.
dude. Like, I know he.
There's
used to
only one
work
Primo,
out of,
and it's DJ
Sweet
Premier.
28. That's how
Yeah,
I
like at the
found
Hip Hop
him.
Lab or yeah.
No, not the Hip Hop Lab. It was the one in Nipsey.
Oh right. Yeah, before I think he
It was
moved this way.
before the Hip Hop Lab.
Yeah. No, when we first started, when he sent me those beats, he was still in Ypsilanti, just grinding. So yeah, it's been super fun to fucking watch. I FaceTime with him the other day because I got a song coming with somebody, and they cut the vocals with him, so I needed him to send me the vocal stems. I FaceTimed with him a couple weeks ago, and I was like, dude, it's been so fucking fun to watch him glow up just from a fucking manager.
Yeah, that's how he had like Sada.
A fucking manager at
there,
Tim
like,
Hortons to like where he's at now,
That's
just in
That's
like a
awesome.
couple of years or whatever. So it's super
That's
fun to
what's up,
watch.
man.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm excited for you to be able to announce all this stuff. I have to say this while you're here, as we're both white boys and that love rap music. I am notoriously hard on
White
white
bonding.
rappers
Oh, yeah.
on our podcast. I give them extra criticism. But one thing that I wanted to make sure that I told you
A lot of us are trash. Let's be real. Like,
Yo, there's a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
But,
let's call a spade a spade.
but
Like,
what I appreciate about you
lot of
is
bad
you
rappers in
didn't do the thing that bothers me the most is you didn't do the fucking Eminem cadence that every white person tries to do when they get into rap music and just like do the million miles an hour fast rap, super choppy with the ornery
Like, I
voice.
want to
I'm
be
like,
Twisted Tech 9.
you're more
Yeah.
on like if I had to compare white rappers, not the way you
Jesus
sound,
Christ.
but you're more Mac Miller than Eminem to me, where you're like more
Yeah, okay.
musical and there's more of like a swag to it, like that's like a cool like presence that you have about it
Cool.
when you're
You
rapping.
definitely got your own personality to your music. and
100%.
everything. And I was
Awesome,
gonna-
awesome.
'cause I know that was in. I don't want to go back to Rhythm and Flow real quick.
No,
I know
it's
that was,
fine,
I know that was a
dude.
big.
No, it's fine.
I know that was
It's
like
fine.
something they said to you on that, and I was gonna
Yeah.
ask you like, did you find more of like I guess like yourself? Well, yeah. Did
Yeah.
you be yourself on this album?
No, man. Yeah, I had a fucking identity, man. Like they were like, you need to find your identity because they need it's TV, bro. They need a narrative. You know what I mean? They
exactly.
got to drive a narrative, and like it's funny to see all these Instagram comments, and I meet people and I meet fans, and they're like, yo, man, you've gotten so much better since the show, and I was like, dude, I've been nice.
Yeah,
I fucking have been this nice,
Fuck
dog.
yeah, dog.
I've done a fucking over 100 shows before I even got to Rhythm and Flow.
Yeah.
Some of those kids, it was their first time performing,
Mm-hmm.
and
You could tell.
Yeah, exactly
sure.
in a show. So, yeah, no, I mean, I thought that I have older tapes on my SoundCloud, on my Bandcamp. I have older shit that's out there. You can go check it. It's flavorful.
I think
it's
when
been.
we
It's
been
originally talked about having you on the show, I went into was it No More Mr. Nice Raps?
Yeah. So that got released like right after the show. That was like my victory lap. That was a lot of like turn up music and like, you know, I was kind of just trying to like have fun with it and just really make some shit to turn up to. The EP I dropped before that though, Neverland. You should check that out if you haven't. That's really soulful and really there's a lot of colors on there. You kind of see colors when you listen to that album. And
Do you want to play him something off it real quick?
Yeah, you could play some shit.
What should I play him off it? I've got it pulled up here.
Let's see here. How about you play? Yeah, how about you play the title track, Neverland?
Neverland?
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit of Neverland off his 2018 album, titled the same thing. And you can go check it out on all the streaming DSPs.
Are you playing keys on here?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
That's me. Really show off my vocal range a little bit here too. Made all the beats on this one too.
You said when was 2018?
Yeah. The one that really rang off on this EP though was
What's that?
the one that really rang off on this EP was 5 a.m.
5 a.m.? Let's play a
Yeah.
little bit of it.
Yeah, you can play a little bit. The video did pretty well on my
How
YouTube.
did you get
Bro,
your
your
name?
mixing and mastering, it's all so good to me. Like,
That too.
you know how many people we have on the show that are like brand new in it and like you can hear the potential, but like the mixing sucks, the vocals are all over the place or whatever. Like,
No,
man.
this is clean.
Good. That's good to hear.
I do want to know how you got your name though, but we'll talk about after this.
Okay, for sure. You can hear that Juicy J influence in there.
Mm.
No sleep.
I love it. We're trippy.
Yeah, you can definitely
So-
hear that 3-6 influence for sure.
I'm going to ask you, like, your name, it kind of almost like a mantra type thing. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, like
For
remind
sure.
you, like, to be yourself.
For
type
sure.
of-
So I used to go by Sam B. My last name starts with a B, so it used to just be Sam B, one letter, and then it got like flagged, or no, I was getting geared up to drop Neverland, that project, and I kind of just did a quick search on like Spotify and Apple Music and all that shit, and I saw there was like a million Sam B's. And I was like, well, what can I roll off of B, like saying, because I don't want to go too far from what people already know me by. I already have a little buzz in my hometown. I'm doing open mics here in Chicago. Like, what can I do that just not gonna derail me too far from Sam B? So I just put an E on the end of B, and I was like, Sam B, what? Sam B yourself, and kind of just rolls off the tongue. It kind of sounds nice. It was kind of just fit. It came to me one day, and I was like, boom, that's it.
I like it because without even hearing the music, it lets me know that you're a bit of a backpacker. Like, it has like a backpacker rapper type of fucking vibe to it.
Definitely some backpacking there for sure. For sure.
For sure, man. That's awesome, dude. I'm really happy that you've got all these projects out and that we can start focusing on the current stuff that you're doing. And, you know, obviously we had to ask you some rhythm and flow questions and stuff, but
Yeah,
I
of
did see
course.
you have a little Christmas EP out too.
Yeah,
Oh, shit,
dude,
really?
There's some slaps on there.
Yeah.
man. And that's what's nice too about that is every Christmas I can kind of just roll that back around.
hell yes.
Re-promote
Are
that.
you gonna like Uncle Murder it with like Christmas EPs?
No, I'm not gonna do it every year, but like yeah, like next Christmas I could just kind of promote that up and streams will go up on it.
That album cover's great.
Yeah, me and my dog by the Christmas tree. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, anyways, I think this is a good time to transition into a segment we do on our show called Something Old, Something New.
Ready to
where,
rock it?
Each week we talk about an album that we're fucking with that's, you know, relatively new within like the last year. And then we go on something that, you know, it's been out for a long time that we have messed with, that we kind of want to like tell the public about, that they deserve to hear. So for something old, for the last like month on this podcast, I've been chronicling the history of punk rock music,
Nice.
and we did that for a long
You
time.
sure it was a month?
It was over a month.
I'm
I
about to say
think.
this was like
It might have been
this
two.
was the whole summer.
It might have been
thing.
two.
He's like, come on, man, turn that shit off.
It definitely went to, because I started in Detroit. I started with Iggy Pop and MC5, and then I went to
Fuck
New
yeah.
York, and then I went to London. So it was a while, but
Oh yeah.
it's hip hop's birthday, so we're going hip hop.
You ever heard of Death from Detroit? You ever heard of the band Death from Detroit?
No.
Dude,
No.
oh my God, there's a documentary about him too. It's called the documentary's called A Band Called Death. It's literally 3 black dudes from Detroit that pretty much like they give like punk rock invention to like the Ramones pretty much.
Yeah.
Go listen. This band's called Death. Dude, they're so fucking.
I'm gonna
sick.
check that out because we talked about that. Like the Bad Brains were like the first like
Yeah.
black punk band that like started all that shit, that like really like started the hardcore scene of punk rock. But that's awesome. I'm gonna check Death out for
yeah,
sure.
check out Death. They're sick.
But switching gears, I'm in hip hop mode today. So I don't know why this popped in my head and why sometimes at work when I don't have anything playing in my headphones, like weird things just pop up in my head. And so I had this album stuck on my brain the other day, and it was an album that I was obsessed with in high school. It came out in 2003. It's called Full Circle by Hieroglyphics. If you don't know Hyro, I guess it's not Detroit, but if you know anything about the Bay, man. So the Bay and Detroit have very kindred spirits.
Oh,
so
totally.
We're the cousins.
Especially today.
Especially today,
Especially
man.
in the sound of hip-hop today. Yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, I just saw an interview with like Guap Dad 4000 where he was talking about how like his influence is heavy in Detroit. He's like, because Detroit and the Bay, we do some weird shit with each other where we just like kind of like cousins and we just vibe off each other's shit. And
I mean, and hip hop's kind of leaning in the house music space too. So
I know it sure is now.
Oh man.
But anyways, Hieroglyphics is kind of a hip hop supergroup of the Bay, made up of a lot of the cats that were popping out there: Souls of Mischief, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Opio, A+, all those guys. But this album meant a lot to me. Oh, this is the radio edit one. I don't want that shit. This album meant a lot to me just because it kind of gave me like a different scope on the hip hop that I was hearing at the time. It was more about the bars and the lyrics and the punchlines and stuff that just like were really cool about it. And plus, with all these guys on there, you can't lose. I'm going to play a little track for you guys that I love off here. It's called Make Your Move.
Nice.
Here's a little bit of that for you. I always thought that beat was fucking super cool. That's a little bit of Make Your Move by Hieroglyphics, Full Circle. That's my something old. E-Man, what you got, man?
I'm gonna go to 1996, man. I don't know why I kind of went back into a kick. Maybe I was in the gym and I needed something like a little bit like energy focused, I would say. So I decided to go to March 26, 1996, man. Busta Rhymes' debut album, The Coming.
Woo!
3 years removed from Leaders of the New School, man. Like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
album debuted at number 6 on the Billboard 200. It had a massive amount of features. You had Q-Tip, you had Keith Murray, you had DJ Scratch, you had Mos Def. I mean, a lot of people on this album, and it was just one of those things. I mean, I left did the remix with Oh Dirty Bastard on it. I actually didn't even hear that before up until like a couple of days ago, to be honest with you. I think it must have missed me or some shit, but yeah, man. It's just one of those albums that kind of just go like you just kind of get like that energy vibe. One thing I do like, it had like that skit that was kind of very reminiscent of the Biggie one.
Yeah, where he's getting head in the hotel or something like that. Yeah. And that's like right before. Isn't that like right off the end of? It's off like one of the big singles off there. I feel like that skit's like at the end of. Was it off Woo-Ha maybe? I can't remember.
Was it?
It's definitely like it plays at the end of one of the
the
tracks, which is like annoying because you want to add that song to a playlist,
but
then you
can't.
have the dick sucking skit.
You do not want to hear that song
to
in
the
public.
end of it. So it makes it a little
like,
awkward.
It's like We Cry Together. I love this song. I just can't hear it in public.
Yeah.
What should I play off here?
Nothing.
Oh,
Actually,
that's
nothing.
right. Busta is super copyrighted. We all know what Busta sounds like, but no, I'm glad you brought that up. One, Busta's New York, and Tip and Tribe and Leaders in the New School. That's like my wheelhouse of shit that I love the most.
Totally.
I'm wearing a Tribe hat right now. But yeah, Busta, and then Busta, another reason why he's so important for hip hop is he's like was the godfather of starting the super interesting fucking sweet videos to watch. Like
that too, man.
them
like,
Hype
give me
Williams
some,
videos
like,
and shit with
oh,
the fish
yeah.
eye
like
lenses and stuff.
him and Missy were like
yeah.
1 and
Him
2
and
with
Missy for
that
sure.
to me.
They
like,
had
just
like fucking movie budgets for their videos.
Yep.
It was crazy. Yeah.
100%. Shout out Hype Williams, man.
I think one of my favorite videos, and it's a little bit after that, but it doesn't get enough credit to me, but that Exhibit, What You See Is What You Get video, because of how it's shot in all one shot and all the shit that's going around behind it and everything like that was always really cool.
Speaking of Exhibit, I heard that they're revamping Pimp My Ride.
Why?
After they already scammed everybody.
Yeah, straight up.
Why though?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't even think it's not going to be with him or anything. I think it might be
I
in a
hope
different
not.
country.
Like,
Yo, dog, I heard you like Belgian waffles. So we put a waffle maker in your Civic. I'm like, what?
I remember one where it was like, we put a fucking hot tub in the back of your minivan. I was like, yo,
Like,
that seems like
please.
unpractical as hell to
Like,
ride
this
around
is not
with.
street legal, dog. Like, I gotta get to work tomorrow. Like,
They didn't fix any of like the transmission issues or whatever the hell is going on.
no,
No mechanical issues.
I'm
It
pretty
just
sure they
looked
went
cool, though.
straight up back to them and were like, yeah, we need the car back. Like, we got to dismantle that. Like, and they were all like paid actors. I'm pretty sure like Tiffany Haddish was like on that show as like
Was
an
she really?
Yeah.
Wait, New York? Oh, it's Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish was like an actor on that show where she's like, I need help with my car, and
That doesn't shock me at all. Like
Yeah.
all of this,
It
like
was all. I'm pretty sure they were mostly paid actors, and then they would do it for like a real person every now and then the real person would come back and try to sue because they'd be like, they just fucked my car up. Like,
that does not surprise me because I
tracks.
feel like that's
Yeah.
all reality shows. Like when people are like talking, obviously I don't like to bring up the Kardashians. We usually don't, but like the Pete Davis and shit and all that. I'm like, why are you mad? He fulfilled his role on the TV show. He was a paid actor. He made his season. He did his job, and now he's gone.
He fulfilled his contract.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a free agent now.
He's a free agent now.
That's that or SNL for that matter too. Oh, we got it.
For sure, man. But anyways, Sam, is there some old shit that you've been listening to?
Yeah, man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So, been listening to. In the process of making this album, I was definitely listening to some Slum Village and a lot of Tribe and a lot of old Hove. I mean, are you looking to play a joint right now?
Well, if you want, or yeah, we can if you want it.
Yeah. Why don't you play? Why don't you play Jigga What? I know that's not the real. That's not the real name of the song, but you get what I'm saying.
I appreciate it.
Shout out Jazzo. I actually saw Jazzo, who was on this song, open up for Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim in Detroit.
Oh, at the fucking casino?
No, it was at St. Andrews.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
It was like 2018 or something like that. I just went by myself. I was like, fucking Rakim's coming to town. Bought a ticket and drove there myself.
Are you going to Wu-Tang? Speaking of which,
I haven't got my ticket yet, but I want to. Wu-Tang Nas.
Where are they playing?
They're at Pine Knob.
Pine Knob.
Yep. I want to, but there's so many shows I want to get tickets to. I want to get K Tronada tickets. I want to get.
K Tronada was supposed to be here like 3 times.
Fucking West Side Boogie's coming.
It's
There's a
September.
lot of shit I want to see. But we'll give you 2 seconds of this one, so we don't get.
That's all we can afford.
We don't get flagged. Yeah.
It's only YouTube that are sticklers.
Honestly,
well,
you can just skip to the Jazzo verse if you want. Really, honestly.
For sure. He definitely performed this, by the way.
You know what's funny? You picked this. I went on a Jay-Z kick yesterday.
He hit that live
Has
too. I was like,
anybody
woo!
ever sampled besides the Annie samples? Anybody else sampled Broadway?
Oh man, yeah. I think somebody sampled Wicked.
For real?
Yeah. Kanye did, if I'm not mistaken.
That wouldn't shock me.
That
Kanye
tracks.
sampled Wicked. Yeah, for sure. What? Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. I'll just try.
That wouldn't surprise me, dude. There's some of my favorite Instagram
I'm
accounts.
not. Lin-Manuel Miranda does not count, but
Yeah, the song "Popular" from Wicked. That's the name of like the.
popular.
Yeah,
that
I'm
song.
gonna
Yeah.
be popular. Yeah. But yeah, did you guys ever hear that story about how when Jay cleared the 2 Annie samples for those 2 songs that he did, he like made sure that it would be free, it would be cleared to sample for all hip hop acts like moving forward.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
And
that.
that's how Nip was able to do it on Victory Lap. Because he kind of slowed it down a lot.
Oh, with Hustle and Motivate?
Hustle and Motivate,
Yeah.
yeah. So I saw an interview with Nip where he said that. He was like, yeah, Jay made sure that we could that hip hop could keep using that sample. So that's
Man, Jay-Z's the greatest, man.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah, he's the best, man. Yeah, that's tight. So now we got to move on into something new. And I gotta pull this one up. I gotta find out where they have it at. I think it's probably under Mass Appeal.
Oh, you want a Nas artist here?
No, I'm trying to find. It's probably maybe under DJ Premier. Let's see. All right, so the reason I'm pulling this one up, so there's a new mixtape series coming out that I think is fucking so cool that they're doing with the 50th anniversary.
Oh,
of
dude, did
hip-hop
you see the
coming up
Rap
next
City
year.
one that just dropped?
That's on this.
Ooh.
That's on this.
Yeah,
So basically, what they're doing is they're gonna have a different mixtape, like 5 or 6 songs, done by one of the classic producers once a month, I believe. The first one's
Nice.
Premier, then they got like Pete Rock, they got a bunch of
Nice.
other cats, and they're just gonna be making this like mixtape series that all coincides with the release of the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Let's see.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't heard that premiere EP yet, but I heard it's crazy. It's like I heard Lil Wayne and Slick Ricker on the same fucking song. Like, yeah, I've heard some nutty things about it. I'm still yet to dive in. It's so fucking hard to keep up these days, dude.
I'm trying to find I might have to just pull it up.
Remember Tuesday releases?
Oh my god, that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Because then it would set the fucking DJ up for the weekend.
Yep.
It was the best. I liked it better that way.
Albums would always come out on Tuesdays.
And you had the week to sit with it and stuff.
And figure out which records were jamming, and then you'd hit the clubs, and the DJs knew what to play, and it's like, shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, now it's like kind of like a crapshoot because everything comes out
I saw
Friday,
something
Saturday,
insane where it's like, dude, like every Friday, globally, like 50,000 songs are released or something.
Damn.
Crazy.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Globally, yeah. Just through, because now just anybody with a fucking laptop and a mic can just upload to Spotify.
True.
So...
CD Baby, Distro Kid.
Yeah. Which is a good thing, but...
All right, so this is
Shout out to
mixtape.
Bandcamp, by the way.
Yeah.
So here's a little bit of the Rap and Remy one from this. I'm pretty sure this is mixtape, but I'm going to cut it right here anyways, just in case. But I think we're good on that. You know, the Rhapsody verse on there is fucking crazy, by the way. I cannot wait for Rhapsody to drop
Do we
another
apologize to Beyonce yet?
Do we? Oh man!
What'd you guys do to the Queen Bee, dude?
So we didn't. So
we didn't do anything.
Pretty vocal on here how we're just like casual fans. So we're not like stands of all this
I'm not.
stuff.
I'm not in the Beehive. Let's put it that way. And I feel like it's like blasphemy to say you're not a part of the Beehive.
Well, it's not even that. So we gave it a little bit of slack, right? So she dropped "Break My Soul," which I love the record and I think it's a great fucking song. But we were a little like salty because we're like, you motherfuckers are acting like fucking Beyonce invented fucking techno
like,
and
this
house
shit's been
music.
around Detroit
Come to Detroit,
forever.
this shit's always at every party.
The album comes out, and I'm like, oh shit, this album's great.
It's so good.
Oh yeah, no, it's a fucking,
It's so
fucking fantastic, and she's got 2 more albums coming too. I think there's 3 acts. I think she dropped a new song today with like the Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Actually, she did.
Yeah.
Heated off of that album specifically is like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of records on there that I just think the production is phenomenal on there, and you know, and
That's
now
not
that
my
the dust
something new,
is
by the way,
settled,
but-
I'm not mad at it at all because obviously there's no one that's going to bring mainstream attention to that sound of music more so than a Beyonce. Do you know what I mean? Like she's the biggest artist out there. I think
And
more,
the Six God.
and the Sixth God
Yeah.
for sure, but his was
I
not
didn't
well done
like
in my
it.
opinion.
You didn't like it?
I did not like
Oh,
it.
okay.
Sticky was
didn't-
great. Jimmy Cooks was great.
I liked it. I
Did
was
you?
vibing to that shit. I was moving my hips and shit. Like, but yeah, he was smart in the sense that like he obviously is probably very close with Jay and Beyonce, and he was like, I'm gonna get my little dance album out of the way
For
now.
sure.
Very smart.
Surprise release. Let's get this out of the way now before the Queen comes.
Chestnut
I don't even
checkers.
think he wanted to release it when he did, but he was probably like, "Oh shit, she's about to drop. I better get this fucking thing out now."
Yeah.
Give it
for
like
sure.
at least a week to breathe.
For sure.
All right. However, something new. I'm gonna talk about that 2000, that Joey Badass album.
Woo, Joey.
Great album.
So good.
Man, so a lot of people.
Stack selected too.
Yeah, man, Stack Select. You had like Diddy on the intro of
Mhm,
it.
mhm.
This is probably arguably the best Larry June verse I've heard.
Same
period,
here.
by
I
the way.
agree.
Really?
I do like Larry June a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm like this. That beat was perfect for him.
Yeah, I like that joint with him and West Side Gun too.
That song
Yeah,
is
that's
great too.
A lot of people were saying that. I mean, comparing it to 1999, which I think was it was it Fantino? Is that the dude's name?
Fantano, yeah.
Fantano, yeah. That he was talking, and I feel like he made a good point of it's hard to really recapture, being like the 17-year-old hungry.
Yeah, it's
Like
it's
artists.
impossible. Joey's made movies and TV shows.
Yeah, you got an
and-
Oscar, dog.
Yeah.
Like and everything like that. At the same time, I love this album, and I really love what he did with it, and I really enjoy where it was at.
Yeah, it's like a more mature version of
Exactly.
1999. You know what I mean? It's kind of just
And I love the topic points on there. Like I love that
Survivors
he's
Guild.
got-
You
I was
get
gonna say
really
that,
deep,
Steezy.
speak on the Capital Steez thing, and
Mhm.
it was
It was a
that song
great
made me
project.
get a little emotional, man. Like he hasn't really, he obviously always bigs up Capital Steez, but he hasn't ever really opened up about it the way that he did on that track, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to see like a growth and a mature Joey. Like I love seeing the both sides. I love seeing the hungry shit, but I also love seeing when they get to this place where they're comfortable and if they can still make good music, if they still care about
Like,
the craft,
I've-
you know what I mean?
For sure.
What was a single he released before that? Revenge. The one that was it was like what was the movie?
Oh yeah, I know the little 2-pack that he dropped.
What was it?
I'm not sure.
I
What
forget the
movie
name
was
of it.
it? The video was based off of New Jack City.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that song a lot, like in that video. But yeah, this album is. I enjoyed it a lot, man. It's gonna definitely
went
make my
all the way
top
off on
list.
"Wanna Be Loved." By the way,
Mhm.
JID is fucking crazy. The only track on here I didn't like was the track with Chris Brown and Cabela Gray.
I liked it
Did you?
because we never see that side from Joey. So
Yeah, you don't really.
Yeah, so I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
I
I love
like
Chris
when
Brown.
people get out of their comfort zones, man. I like that shit.
That's true.
That's what I really enjoyed about the Drake project. It was just, obviously he didn't go too crazy with his vocal melodies or anything like that, but it was just a risk for sure.
Mhm.
And people
That's
were
true.
people were shitting on it, and it still probably sold a fucking billion records.
I mean, it's Drake. His name's attached to it, of course.
Exactly. So no, I like when artists do that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. This one right here, I just love. I'm just gonna play just the intro, just because I love the beat. This fucking "Show Me" right after the Chris Brown track.
Yeah.
I love this fucking beat.
Eric the Architect produced this too, or co-produced it from Flatbush Zombies.
What'd you say?
Oh, really?
Eric the Architect from Flatbush Zombies co-produced this.
He
Like,
did?
this first track, yeah.
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's sweet. Yeah, shout out Joey. I love the album. It's nice to see that he came with this after a 5-year break because it could have gone the other way.
Speaking of Flatbush Zombies, that Michi Darko singles have been great.
Bro.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I like the way he sounds better on his own.
He's a G, man.
He's
Yeah.
crazy. He's gonna
Yeah.
stand out for sure.
what you got for something new, man?
Something new, huh? Let me think real quick. I know. So I've been, as far as new shit, I've been really loving that Denzel project. You know what? I know it's
No,
not like,
nice.
I know it's not his newest project, but it's newer. I've been getting real hyped off of the France Freestyle by Baby Keem.
Oh my god.
Die for My Bitch was like 2019, so it's not super old or super new, but been really into Denzel and Baby Keem, and yeah, that's kind of where my head's at as far as new rappers. It's just hard to I know you told me this last night too. Like, we do this segment, and I didn't really think too much about it, but so I apologize for that. But yeah, that's Baby Keem's definitely, as far as this new generation, man. He's
The
definitely
Melodic Blue.
Yeah, I love that fucking album so
You know
much.
what?
So
I
good.
go back
Pink.
to that
What is the name of
album.
the one song? Pink Panties, I
Pink
think.
Pa- yeah.
Oh
Track
my
2?
god, yeah.
Pussy, yeah, nigga, you don't know that shit.
I probably listened to that album like just 17 times in a row. It was crazy.
I go back to that album at least once or twice a week.
Yeah,
to be honest with
easily.
you,
Easily.
it's
He
a
has
lot
such
of
a great
replay. That
mentor,
Vent
you
is
know what I
probably
mean?
one of my favorite songs off of that album.
Mhm.
Like just because like the hypeness of it.
I love 16.
I do love
bro.
Trademark
That's my shit.
USA.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it's a great album, dude.
Yeah.
Like
The
start to
intro's really good too.
Well, here's a little bit of France Freestyle out of Baby Keem, and if you are just put onto him like I was off the Melodic Blue, go back and do your homework because he's got several other projects out, a lot of mixtapes and shit.
I keep saying I need to go back to Tana Leon's album too. but-
I haven't listened to that yet, and we're about to see him on Sunday open up, so I got to check that
Nice.
shit out. So here's a little bit of France Freestyle. I love that deep bass.
How do you hear this shit and not go nuts?
It's so fun, man. He broke the floor at St. Andrews.
I know.
You know how many concerts that floor has seen?
When the piano comes in here in a sec, it's fucking crazy. Ooh.
And he produces everything too, for the most part.
I'm pretty sure he did N95.
Yeah, he
on
did.
on
I know he
Kendrick's.
did a lot of shit on Damn.
Yeah.
He did a few songs on the Kendrick album. His little freestyle on the fucking, I forget the name of the freestyle.
Oh,
on the Kendrick
the-
album. That's my favorite fucking shit.
You ever seen your mama? Oh no, on
Yeah.
Mr. Morale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me pull that up. I
Oh
can't
man,
remember
I
the
love
name
that
of
song
Yeah.
too.
Keem seems to be the real fucking deal, man.
That Kendrick album, I'll be honest, I've been having a spiritual experience with that album because of that album, really. Like, that album helped me face so much shit that I was going through in my head and is like kind of opened the door to like a whole new pathway for me. I've been doing meditation shit, which I never used to do, which kind of makes me mad now that
My
I'm
girl
doing
put
it.
me onto meditation.
Oh my god! As a dude, me and E-Man both
Usually
have
how it works.
ADHD.
It's fucking so nice.
It really is like a tool to like train your brain how to be calm and get rid of the anxiety and stresses. And then I've been doing a lot of like cold exposure shit, like jumping in, like taking cold showers at the end of my shift.
Makes you
God.
like focus more like on your breathing.
It's like resetting your body clock. It's just like
it really does.
Yeah, it resets your chakras, man. It's a real thing.
And that's what's so important. That's why I love Kendrick so much. Is he's not afraid to, you know, everyone else is making this type of record. I'm gonna go do this type of record.
Fuck
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the most important facet of being a musician, in my opinion.
I mean, Kendrick's also in his own lane too.
100%.
That helps a lot with that.
100%. I cannot wait to see him on Sunday. We have floor tickets at LCA. I don't even want to say how much I spent on those fucking things, but it's gonna be really dope. That's gonna be a crazy day in the city though, because you got Kendrick at LCA, you got Red Hot Chili Peppers, Thundercat, and the Strokes at. Are they at Comerica?
Comerica, yeah.
That's the same day?
Yeah, it's the same
fucking
day.
Shit.
So it's gonna be popping down there.
I want to get tickets to both and kind of just bop back and forth.
I wish I could do the same.
I'm not even kidding. Like
I remember
me and my fiance were like, dude, should we just get a ticket to both and just kind of like try to bop back and forth and see like what we can do? But it's not gonna happen.
It's definitely worth it to see. If you've never seen the Peppers, it's definitely worth it. I've seen them twice now. Once at Bonnaroo with Josh Klinghoffer was playing, and then I saw them once on the Stadium Arcadium tour when John Frusciante was still in the band. And
speaking of Peppers,
that's fun to see.
Have either one of you watched the Woodstock 1999?
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh my god, those poor kids, man.
Flea's naked ass out there running around.
Those poor fucking kids.
That shit looked like a refugee camp, man. I was
terrible. I went to bed that night and just felt dirty. I was like,
Dude,
I had just gotten out of the shower and I was
the
like,
fucking trash in the wind and stuff.
oh
The
my
trash,
God.
the porta potties, like
Yeah.
these motherfuckers thought they were like running around throwing mud all weekend. They're really just like covered in their own stuff.
They're
Like
covered in shit.
God.
Drinking shit.
And
Drinking
there was
shit water.
it was $4 a water back in 1999. Like that's crazy. Festivals give you free water now.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's so insane.
that was
want
a-
to
that was
make
a
as
big-
much money as possible.
That was a big money grab for the people that put it on. It was a shame.
super big money.
And it was on pavement too, because it was like the old Air Force base and stuff like that. So
It was
that
on a
definitely
fucking
didn't help.
tarmac. Like, yeah.
And then it also is hilarious that like, you know, it's basically one stage for a fucking couple 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And then they fucking book the most teenage angsty white boy lineup.
New
you could
metal,
ever
baby.
fucking-
New metal,
New
dog.
metal. Go Dursty.
Kid Rock,
Yeah.
Kid Rock comes out in that fucking like fur
Keep on
coat.
rolling, baby.
It's all
That
about
shit
the
is
nookie.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that? I was just listening to an interview with DJ Premier where he was talking about, you know, he did like a couple beats for Limp Bizkit back in the day or whatever for like In Together
Did
and
he
shit
really?
like that. Yeah, he did. And he said when Fred like asked him to do it, he was like, all right, well, let me hear your music first. And so Fred sent him some stuff, and he's like, I'll be honest with you, the raps ain't that good. And he's like,
Yeah.
but he was like, the check was.
Yeah.
He was like, and Fred was cool about my honesty, and he didn't get mad when I told him that his raps needed work. And for that reason alone is why I did the track with him.
Have you guys before Limp Bizkit and Eminem started beefing? Did you guys ever hear the song that they did together? It's called "Turn Me Loose." It's not.
No.
You would have to like YouTube it because it's not on like any album, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good song. It's funny to hear like Eminem and Fred Durst like going back and forth. It's just so lopsided, obviously. And
When did that come out?
that was probably like '99 or
So
it had to have been '99.
Marshall Mathers LP was out by then.
No, I don't think so.
Or was
Oh.
it Infinite?
It was
yeah.
after Infinite. It was
Okay.
like Slim Shady LP
Shady,
days.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like around when he started getting into the industry, working with Dre and shit like that. I think him and Limp Bizkit toured together. Like, but yeah, they have a song called "Turn Me Loose" and it's pretty funny.
Let's see if I can find it real quick on here.
That's amazing.
Hold on.
It's funny, dude.
This shit
Fred
happened.
Durst is like, "Yo, Slim Shady, step up to the mic,
Hold on.
kid."
Hold on. Let me turn off Baby Keem.
Baby
real
Keem's
quick.
still rocking.
I do this
I'm
notoriously.
not mad at it.
I always forget to fucking turn off my title. All right, let's hear a little bit of this because I have to.
It's funny.
He also has a song with Kid Rock back in the day.
Just listen to that beat. Like, clear the mic,
Kid.
kid. Like what?
Oh. He definitely repurposed this verse.
Exactly. He was like, "I'm gonna need that back for the album."
Use that for D12. Look at me later.
Trash.
It's so bad, dude. Yeah, he had a song. I think it was on Kid Rock's, or was it on Eminem's first album? What was "Fuck Off" on with him and Kid Rock?
I don't know.
can't remember if it was on the Slim Shady LP or what it was, but yeah, that song was also not very
What
good.
was the other one? The ICP story. That was another one too, right?
Fuck ICP, buy my CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all because he was.
You're trying to get on a concert with ICP.
No,
and
he was
you're
trying to
like
push
something
his tape. He was at an ICP concert. They had like blown up before him, and he was at an ICP concert trying to push out his tape. And I think he gave a copy to Violent J, and Violent J made fun of him. And then Eminem got invited onto WJLB like the following day, and on the radio said, "Fuck ICP, buy my CD."
Yeah.
So that's how that whole thing started. Which is kind of crazy because, you know, as much as I never liked ICP, I always thought their music was just kind of fucking whatever. It's pretty impressive what those guys have done.
Oh, no,
from
they
a
have a
business
cult following.
standpoint. Like,
yeah, dude. No, like I'm honestly like interested. Like I've obviously never been a big fan of ICP as music really, but respect the fuck out of their independent grind and like, dude, their lineup every year for Gathering of the Juggalos is always stacked, and I'm like, dude,
crazy.
I kind of want to go get weird.
I saw they had KRS-One and
Dude, it was like
what they have on
I
that?
think Danny Brown does it like every year.
Yeah.
Like it's
he got there was like a lot of turmoil from the last performance because they started throwing shit at Danny, and he was in a bad mood, and he fucking threw the microphone in the crowd and walked off stage.
Oh really? then fuck that festival. Fuck no.
No, it was funny because Danny does.
Method Man too. That was another one.
Oh,
that
I'm
happened.
sure, yeah. Danny does a podcast now, and he was just talking about
It's
that.
good, too.
It's very funny.
It's fucking
very
good.
fucking funny.
He's definitely supposed to be doing that.
Yep,
like-
100%. He talked about that. He's like, yeah, I was probably tripping. He's like, I was in a bad mood. He's like, my bad. I love y'all Juggalos. He's like, I love the whole gathering. I want to come back. So shout out to Danny. Which actually, speaking of him, you know, Your Mom's House, which is the podcast that he's affiliated with his podcast, they're doing a live show on the 8th. Or maybe that's already happened, or maybe it's the 18th coming up then.
Okay.
But he's performing a brand new unreleased song on their like live podcast. So
Nice.
I'm excited to
Okay.
hear that for sure. Any other new music you guys wanted to get to talk about? Because I'm trying to think. Oh, I did want to. Well, I want to spend more time with it, but the game released a double.
I'm not-
I mean, it's like a fucking 31 songs.
We need time to process that album.
We definitely have.
I haven't
He
even
gives 10
started.
minutes just to Eminem alone.
I'm gonna say the
so.
Black Slim Shady. We could talk about that alone for about 20 minutes.
For
I don't-
sure.
I don't want to do that right now.
But I just wanted to mention that we're listening to it, and we will get to it eventually on the show. And then also one that I'm like so stoked to listen to. I purposely didn't want to do it before the podcast today because I want to be able to digest it. Danger Mouse and Black Thought put out an album
Ooh, yeah,
together.
the single was dope.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Like, let me pull this up because they have a sick roster on here. I think Run the Jewels and
Dude, LP,
A$AP Rocky are on the same
LP's
song.
verse on that Run the Jewels song is fucking unbelievable.
People don't talk about LP enough when it comes to rapping because he always gets
Yeah.
like washed.
He gets producer like
Yeah, I mean,
like,
obviously,
thing,
he's
but
the-
like as an art, like as an actual rapper, as
an
like
MC,
a writer, he's
dude,
dope.
There's not
Yeah.
a lot of people that can out rap that guy, dude. It's crazy.
No Gold Teeth was the one I heard that Danger Mouse Black Thought song.
yeah, that one's great. That was the single that came out. They also got on here just to mention some of the features. They got Raekwon on here. They got a track with Joey Badass and Russ on the same song.
Oh shit.
They got
There you go.
they got an unreleased MF Doom feature on this motherfucker.
There you go.
They've got A$AP Rocky and Run the Jewels, like we just said. They got
Together?
Conway,
How
yeah.
does that sound?
And then they got Conway the Machine as well on this thing. 12 songs. I cannot wait, man. Hey yo. But before we get out of here, man, was there anything that you wanted to, promote? Any shows coming up? Your social medias?
Yeah, you can follow me at Sambeyourself on all platforms, whether that's Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good shit. Yeah, Sunshine Diaries is coming out September 2nd, and that's pretty much it. No, I'm kind of sitting on taking a break from taking gigs, just to kind of focus on this music for right now and try to put my best foot forward and try to make the best fucking possible music I can. We're gonna get some shows going around the album release, obviously, but no, man, September 2nd, Labor Day weekend, Sunshine Diaries. I made all the beats besides one, and
you guys are in for a treat. It sounds
Oh,
so
yeah, man,
nice.
it's
And I'm not
great.
just blowing
And
smoke
it's-
because he's here. It's really
it sounds
good.
like a beautiful summer day with a breeze and a cold
does.
drink, baby. And thanks for having me, guys. This was fun.
One last comment on it too. I love that the beats are very boom bap in the way the drums kick in the intro, but then it's like it's not your typical cut and dry boom bap hip hop. Like you branch out from it. Like the drums feel that way
Yeah.
a lot, but then you're just like, oh man, you're adding all these different elements of instruments and shit
Thank
to
you.
it.
Yeah, you had mentioned how everything sounds really crisp and clean and the mastering's good. Yeah, I went to I did a remote learning school for audio engineering where
Nice.
I'd learn everything online and then they'd put you in a studio and you'd work hands on in a real studio learning how to mix and master and shit. So that's kind of where my production chops came from. But what were you about to ask,
Trial
brother?
by fire. I love it. So what I was gonna ask you is any advice you have for any upcoming artists or anybody struggling? So I know you said that you had like this whole thing with COVID, like about like trying to struggle
Yeah,
with
man.
putting out music.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. No, this is definitely my most vulnerable project, man. After being on the Netflix show and really thinking like, damn, this is about to happen. I'm about to take off and having my next year and a half booked out and traveling and about to do some festivals and shit like that. And then COVID hits, everything shuts down. I was in my fucking head and I was in a bad place for a long time. And this is me getting back to just being vulnerable. That's the music that I fell in love with, right? The honesties of the Kanye and the honesty of an Eminem and the honesty of a Drake and a Kid Cudi and that vulnerableness. That's the shit I fell in love with, and that's the shit that I really like. Obviously, turning up and bragging is fucking fun, and I do that well, and I love doing that. But yeah, this is the most vulnerable project I've ever done. It's the most honest I've ever done, and my advice is to just fucking put it out, dude. If you're sitting on songs and you're thinking about it, just fucking put it out. There's so much shit out there. Either it's gonna do one of two things. It's gonna do absolutely nothing, or it's gonna change your fucking life. So put out that song. Go pay for that studio time. Go record that song that you wrote or whatever. Just stop overthinking and just fucking do it.
fuck yeah.
And that's great advice too, because just to go back to the Danny thing real quick, he was just talking about how he's been working on his next project for like over 3 years now, and he's like, do not wait like I'm waiting right now, because now I'm at this point where I fucking hate my entire album, and I'm like, and now I'm like, shit, what do I do?
I went through that battle with this album for pretty much a year straight. A lot of these songs are kind of have been done and ready to go, and over listening to them and trying to perfect them, and then end up fucking the whole mix and master up because I'm overdoing shit. And yeah, man, just fucking put it out, dude.
As Neil knows, I'm living it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's got to be. As I'm not an artist, obviously, but I have these conversations with E all the time where he's like, man, I loved that song at first, and now I don't know how I feel about it.
And then I listened to it 700 times over the last 6 months.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And I think it's trash when it's not. Yeah, because then I get together with people and I play the shit, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, put that out!" Like, and I'm like, "It's not ready," but fuck it, dude.
I know, like I feel like you critique every little thing. It's like art, because like you listen to it from like a fan point, and you listen to it from like an artist point, and then like when it's your own thing, you like critique every little thing that's going on. Like, I don't think this verse is there, or this like stuff. I didn't enunciate this right, or stuff like that. Yeah,
Shit'll be the death of you. Just fucking string it together and put it out, man. Who cares?
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
Who cares?
Well, thank you so much for coming on. To end this podcast out today, I'm going to play you guys a brand new one out of another Detroit artist, Beats and Brews alum. Nick Speed's got a new joint project out with Rose Spit.
Coney Island, baby.
Coney Island, baby. And I'm going to play Welcome to Coney Island for you.
Let's go. Shout out Nick Speed. That's the dude.
Absolutely, man.
And Rose Spit.
And we will catch you guys next week.
Cheers.
Peace. Mac Miller makes his way into every damn podcast.
R.I.P. Mac Miller too, though.
Mac Miller, Eminem, Tyler the Creator. All right, we just rolled it over right off real quick.
All right.
That makes me laugh.
And that's show business, baby.
Anybody else we missed?
Shout out to Sheefy McFly on the artwork too.
Yeah, shout out Sheefy.